basically, I'm going to just explain the whole plot of the movie at this point.
You're right there.
Yeah. So...
So, the boys are back.
Back in town.
Back in town.
No, okay, so where do we... I mean, you just got back from Colorado. I just got back from England.
Took a nice 4 day trip, Colorado.
I was gone for a week, and I'm under the weather. So if somehow sees this, I wasn't lying about getting out of work today.
Genuinely dying right now.
He lives with me. He was going to get sick regardless. So, still doing it solid, you know. We're just going to bleep names on both of those. Yeah, sorry, a lot of edits on this video. No, okay, so you took 4 or 5 days.
4 days.
I have not worked since Monday of last week, or Sunday of last week.
That's nice.
Dude, so I came home fully expecting to like immediately work again on like Monday, Tuesday, just because I was off. And came home to my regular schedule of being off on Monday and Tuesday, and I was like, 2 more days of being off, we can readjust back into normal life. Not too shabby.
The jet lag, was that crazy?
I don't think the jet lag honestly was that bad, because the main thing with it was we were 6 hours ahead, but on the very last day, I was like, you know what? I had like the genius idea of I'm just going to not sleep on the plane back at all, because London is 6 hours ahead of us. So if I were to stay up, if I would have gone to sleep, I would have been getting back home at 8:30. Which is when I should go to sleep here. Mm-hmm. So it was like, if I'm going to sleep 9 hours on a plane, I'm not going to be able to get home, be awake for an hour, and then try and go back to sleep. I'm going to be fucked and lose a day again. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Let me just not sleep at all.
A 9-hour flight?
Yeah, I was up in total whenever I got back home. We can fact check it. I think it was more like I was asleep for around 20, 21 hours before I finally got to sleep. Because I didn't go to sleep until... Yeah, because I didn't go to sleep until time over here would have been 6 hours ahead. Because I woke up at 5 a.m. over there the day that we left,
11.
Which would have been 11 here. And then I went to sleep at 11 here. But I feel like, I don't know if that's how it works, because I gain like time as I come back. I'm not sure. I think I could be up a full 24.
I don't know.
If I was doing it wrong, but I don't know how it works, so I don't want to be a dumbass. I wanted to say 24. I undercut it by 21.
If they're 6 hours ahead, just minus 6 hours.
Yeah, anyway, the whole point is travel was fine. I get over there. I truly wish, like, I don't know if you've seen Devil's Advocate. It's like Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino. So basically the whole movie is Keanu Reeves is this hotshot lawyer, and he like lives down in Florida and Dayton. He was like raised Baptist or whatever. His mom's like real heavy into the church. It's like Southern evangelist like type shit or whatever. Doesn't have a dad. Married to what I can only describe as probably the most attractive woman in the world. It's like, I know you would know her if you had seen her.
What a shit.
I know, that's what I'm trying to... And I know I've seen her in other stuff, but I couldn't like give you a name. Or anyway, it's his wife. But
hot wife.
Yeah, hot wife. She has like curly blonde hair. Like, I was like, oh my God. Kind of looked like Prime Time. We're going to bleep the name here. Prime Time at the moment, whenever she had the wind hair. That's getting hard. But we're going to stop us like very into it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm watching the movie. Keep in mind, I just watched Transformers 1 before it on the plane, because I'm trying to keep myself up.
Nice.
I'm like, well, I know this is a heater.
Yeah.
Watch it. Fantastic movie. Oh my God. Whenever he gets like
Spark?
No, not the, it was called something else. It was, I don't know, but it was like the gold thing that was in his chest. Like, he got the cog that let him transform, and then it was like a thing that like the planet Prime gave to him. because
the cartoon Transformers.
Transformers 1. No, like the movie Transformers 1.
That's the All-Spark.
No, not the Shia LaBeouf one. The cartoon
Okay.
Transformer, the animated Transformers one. And I can see the confusion. So damn, Transformers 1 doesn't mean Shia LaBeouf anymore.
No. That's just Transformers.
Well, no, because it's Oh, Shia LaBeouf is it? And anyway,
Off track.
yeah.
Train derailed.
Got through that. This whole fucking podcast is derailed thoughts. But watched that whole movie. Greg got through it. Started The Devil's Advocate. Unbeknownst to me, I had 2 hours left in the flight, and it's a 2.5 hour movie. Right? So I'm like fully invested, and he's this lawyer. He's a defense lawyer. He's never lost. It opens out with him like he's in a courtroom and he's representing like this child predator or whatever. That's like a school teacher, but like he goes to the bathroom and he's like, oh my god. He's like having like a breakdown a little bit because he's realizing like, oh fuck, I'm gonna lose. And then a guy walks in and he goes, well, it's a good streak, 60-0. Can't win them all. It was bound to come to an end. And then the guy walks out of the bathroom, and then Keanu Reeves looks at himself and he's like, just gets it and then wins, basically. Knowing that the guy might be a sex offender.
Yeah.
Right. So then he ends
It's
up...
kind of gross.
No, yeah, but the movie gets fucked. So it's like, he ends up getting recruited by like some law firm out in New York, and then he goes off to New York, and Al Pacino is the head. He's the CEO of this law firm. And it's like, we're putting you to the test. Like, we want to see what you want to do. Like, we know you don't lose. Like, we're going to put you up with a couple. He gets like a couple cases. One is like this dude is doing like blood, like satanic sacrifices, basically. And he gets a court case for that. And then he saves him because he like got it dismissed under like religious practice. And then so that was like one test. And then after that, there was something else. And then after that, it was this dude, Andrew Cullen, I think. And it was like, he was trying to get off for the murder of killing his wife, his stepdaughter, and a maid. And he was like a real estate mogul or something like that. And then it's like, oh, but I didn't do it like da-da-da-da-da because I was actually out like having an affair with my assistant. But it was like if I had a clause in the prenup where if I got caught for cheating, like half the fortune would go to her, blah, blah, blah. But it was like at the time of the murder, he was fucking his assistant, is what we think. At the same time,
we're told.
Right. At the same time, it's like he's getting fast-tracked, he's getting all this money, they move him into this apartment complex and nobody gets into at the firm unless they've been there for a while. So they're like, he gets in and they're basically like, you're going to be the man now. And like everybody around him is getting jealous, and then like the women are kind of like shown as demonic, and they're like the wives of the other lawyers and shit. So the girlfriend or his wife Marianne is hanging out with them, and then she's kind of like I don't like how these women act. Like they seem very like mean and evil type shit. And then while all that's going on, he gets so fucked off in this case, and it's like bad, and it gets to the point to where he's like, I'm gonna lose. And he asks him like, basically, I'm gonna just explain the whole plot of the movie at this point.
You're right there.
Yeah. So I'm like invested, I'm like, okay, right on. This is crazy. There's this other dude who's like shredding documents of like everything that the firm has been involved in, which was like sex trafficking, like covering up murders, covering up money fraud, like everything deplorable that you can think of. They were like falsifying evidence, like getting judges off so that they could get they would get verdicts swung in their favor. And it was anyway. So then he's like, oh, well, I'm going to snitch out to this guy. And then he ends up getting killed by like two homeless dudes in a park on a run one day. And then it turns out that like they were demons. And then like the women are demons. And then like all this, he has this talk. Al Pacino has this talk with Keanu like right near the end. And he's like, you know what? Maybe this is the one you lose. It is what it is, because it's looking like the case isn't going to work. Because it gets to a point where there's a... What is it? What's it called? I can't think of the name of it. Anyway. But there's a point where...
A witness.
Yeah, no. He's talking to the assistant or whatever, and he realizes that as he's questioning her in his office one day, of like, oh, well, did you fuck him? Have you been sleeping with him? And he was like, trying to coach her on like you're only allowed to say yes or no because it shows weakness if you get like caught up and you don't understand what's going on, because then it's like if it's not fact you wouldn't immediately know it, right? So he's like only answering yes and no's, don't let the prosecution lead you down a hole. So he's coaching her on like how to say yes and no to questions, and then he gets to the question where he actually is like, is he circumcised? And then she stutters and she doesn't like know that, and she stops. And then he goes, what's the problem? Don't you know? And she goes, yes, why are you? Yes, of course he is. And then he realizes, oh, he wasn't sleeping with her. He did cheat with his wife before. He's killing his wife and everybody that knows so he can keep his money. And then he has like this conversation with Al Pacino where he's like, I don't like, she's not, he did it.
Yeah.
It's basically like pointing towards he did it, right? So then he gets to talking to Al Pacino as they're walking back, and Al Pacino, it's like his wife is falling apart because they're also trying to have a kid. She can't get pregnant. She thinks everyone around her is evil. He's gone all the time because he's fucked up on the case and he's not paying any attention to that. So she's alone in New York, knows nobody, and she's like falling apart and like about to be admitted into a mental institution at this point. And he's talking about like he's so worried about his wife and he needs to go home and fix what's wrong with his wife. And then he talks to Al Pacino, and Al Pacino's like, well, maybe this is the case you walk away from. Nobody would blame you. The world wouldn't be upset. I won't be upset. Nobody's going to be upset. And then it's like, he goes, maybe you should just go take care of your wife. And he was like, I understand. But he was like, but I can't. And he was like, why? And he was like, I'm worried about hating her. He was like, my genuine fear is I let the case go. I go home. I fix it with her. She gets better. Then I resent her for getting better and me losing the case. Because he was like, I win. This is what I do. And then he was like,
I know that clip.
So but that's not, it's not that scene. It's not that scene though.
Is that the same movie?
It's the exact same movie. Okay. But that I'm gonna get to that point.
I don't lose.
Yeah, because I send it in the group chat. I send it to Dad whenever I beat him on 8-ball pool.
Okay.
But anyway, I you probably know it outside of me, of course. But I saw it where he talks and then he makes the choice like I'm gonna do the case. And then he wins the case. He ends up, he knows for a fact that like it's real tense in the courtroom and it like pans in on his face and they're like, are you ready to make your like remarks or whatever? And it's like that tense moment of is he gonna do it or is he gonna bow out? And then he does it and he wins the case. And Al Pacino's in court with him, which is very important. So he wins the case, he gets home to his wife. His wife is all like, she took off to some church and she's like, bundled up in a church and she's like freaking out and she's like, I think it's like the Antichrist, like shit like that. It's like so demonic, whatever. She was like, and then his name is Mullen. Al Pacino's name is Mullen. So he's like, Mullen came over and he like raped me, like blah, 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 blah. And he was like, no, you are genuinely losing your mind because Al Pacino was with me in court. And then she gets admitted into a hospital and then she's in like a psych ward and then one of his like Mullen's homegirls that worked at the law firm, like, oh, chin up, like, sweet girl, like, you look so pretty. And then, like, handed her a mirror. And then she looked in the mirror and she smiled for a second. Then it panned up to her homegirl and she had, like, a demon face or whatever. And then she freaked out, like, broke the mirror and then, like, kills herself in front of him. Right before that happened, I left out a completely crucial part of this movie. The Baptist mom, super against the law shit the whole time, comes to visit them in New York, gets a weird feeling, doesn't like it, tells him she doesn't like it, he should go home, he says no, goes home, blah, 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 blah. After being in an elevator with Mullen, it's very tense for like 5 minutes, she doesn't want to talk to him, blah, blah, blah. She comes back, is with Keanu Reeves when he's like going to see her at the mental institution and is like, there's something I need to tell you, like, whenever I came to New York, whenever I was 16 and I had you, like your father was a waiter at this restaurant that I went to, like blah, 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 blah. And he's like, you picked a real fucking good time to bring all this on to me knowing what's going on right now. And then walks into the room. Then she sees her, like the girl's image, kills herself. So his wife kills himself right after that conversation gets cut. It gets blocked off because she's killing herself. So he's like, we're not having this conversation, runs to the back room, sees her like trying to like do something, is trying to break in the room, and then watches her like take the mirror, stab herself in the neck and kill herself. And then like he gets in, tries to say, it doesn't work. Then it cuts to like 10 minutes later, he walks out to the lobby, talks to his mom, he's like, finish the story. And she's like, he's like, finish the fucking story. And then she's talking about how like she moved from Florida to New York, came out here at 16, was 1,000 miles away from home, grew up Christian, knew nobody, went to a restaurant one night. This dude walked up to her, knew every Bible verse word for word. Like, so I finally found someone that I can connect with. I'm young, I'm naive, I know nobody. He knows everything that I know my whole life. This is like the anchor point. And that's your father. He's like, say his name. And it's Mullen, right? The whole time. Yeah, so then he leaves. She's like, say his fucking name. And she doesn't want to say it. And she goes, it's Mullen. And then I think that could not be his name. I could be wrong on that. But walks out. As he walks out, Pam, which is the lady from Mullen's office that showed her the reflection, that's the demon chick, walks out and she goes like, he's ready to see you. You go to him, like, you know you're ready. And then he looks at her and then like walks through New York and it's completely empty. Gets up to the hotel, or gets up to his office, walks in, talks to him. He's like, what the fuck are you? And he's like, I go by many names, like da 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 da. Gives him like this whole Al Pacino at his finest, because it's like Al Pacino's acting is very stoic, like the whole time, very calm, and then at the end they explode, and it's like all emotion, and it's everything, right? It's like Ethan refers it like the standardly like coached, or what's it called? Classically, it's a classic actor or something like that. I don't know. But all of that gets to the point, he's like, da 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 da, and then he goes, you're Satan. And then Al Pacino goes, well, I mean, you could just call me Dad. Anyway, right, so it's his dad, and he's the devil, and it's everything's revealed, and then there's also this hot chick that works at the office, right, is talking to, like, very obvious she's put in the movie to be like this seduction to get him to cheat on his wife, right, but he never does it. And she's like always shown as like very gorgeous, is smoking hot, like redhead with curly hair, great body, like everything. She's like 10. And then gets there and then she walks out and then he's like, this is your sister or something like that. And it's like, it gets really fucked because then Al Pacino's like, I need you basically to fuck your sister to bring about the Antichrist. And he's like, your son is gonna sit at the head of every single table in every single place on this planet. This will start everything. He was like, the whole 20th century, you cannot deny, has been my time. He was like, he said he had this whole diatribe about how God is a masochist. He was like, he puts all of this stuff in front of you. He's like, look, but don't touch. Touch, but don't taste. Taste, but don't eat all of it. Don't get filled up on it. And he was like, I am the guy that has had a hand in every person who's ever had a dream and ever wanted anything in this life. He was like, I never doubted him. I never questioned who he was as a man. I'm a fan of man. And so it's like, he gives this whole thing of, he's like, I'm the reason for everything you wanted in this life. And then he was like, no, you put this in front of me. You're the reason that Marianne like died, blah, 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 blah. And then he goes, no, that's not what you said to me. And then he like repeats back to him in my voice, I'm worried that Marianne is going to live and it will make me hate her. And he goes, that's what you said. That's what you are. And he goes, that's not, I win. That's what I am. I win. And I was like, fuck. And then it's like, he goes, bingo. And then it gets to the point where he's like, but the problem with that is God said, let there be free will. And he was like, so I can't make a choice for you. You have to do that. I can just give you the options, right? So then it gets to this whole point where it's like, he starts kissing his sister, and then he looks at him, and he goes, well, this is it, huh? And he goes, well, you said free will, right? And then his dad, and Satan goes like, yeah, and he goes, huh, free will, and then pulls out a gun, puts it to the head. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for landing. Screen goes black. Miss the rest of the fucking movie, dude. Oh my God, it killed me. I went through customs on my phone on Go Movies watching the last 10 minutes of this fucking movie. I swear to God, I could not make it up any better. I see the finger go back. I don't see the click. I don't see brains go out. I see nothing. It's click, screen goes black, prepare for landing. I'm done, flight's over. I'm like, are you serious, dog? 2.5 hours of it. Dude, I could not make this shit up.
Were you watching it on the plane?
Yes, I was watching it on the seat on the back. It said, PA announcement. We have landed. You can now stand. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And then it goes back. I don't get to finish the movie on the plane. I have to get up and get my bags and we leave. Oh my God, it was terrible.
That's hilarious.
I know, it was great. Dude, it destroyed me. It destroyed me, dude.
You're just like on the edge.
Yeah, bro. It was incredible. But
it's like the same thing when you're driving and you're like listening to a good song, like listen to a minute build up, and right before like phone call or like.
But to the nth degree, because I've sat through 2 hours and 15 minutes of this movie, and I'm ready to go. And it's like, oh, now the plane got delayed 5 times at the airport, but heaven forbid we get there on time. No, we're gonna get there 10 minutes early, so I just fuck off the whole. Dude, oh my god, it was hilarious.
It was a good ending.
Yeah, it was good. So what happens is he does kill himself straight up.
Nice.
And then like Al Pacino freaks out, turns into the devil, blah 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 blah, and then he wakes up back at the initial case of like, which can be seen as his turn, where it's like he's back with the child predator. He knows it's a child predator for sure, and he stands up in court and he's like, I can't do it. He was like, I'm gonna have to resign. I can't under good conscience remain as his counsel. Goes out. His wife's like, are you sure about this? He was like, yeah, I'm sure. Like, basically, she's like, what are you doing? He was like, what I think is the right decision. So then leaves, and basically it's chill. Well, there's like a scene where this guy's like, you have to like talk to me about this. He's talking about like vanity. There's a scene earlier in the movie where that whole diatribe where he's going through like, I'm a fan of man, that whole thing. Al Pacino also says like, my favorite sin is vanity. He was like, it's just the best sin is vanity. And then, because it's like the whole thing is he wants to get wealthy, he wants to get like, blah, 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 blah. He wants to like be the man.
Yeah.
And then it gets to the point where at the end, he's walking away from the courtroom and like this like press guy is like trying to talk to him. He's like, it's a story of the century, like a man that stepped down because he had a conscience. He's like, you never hear that in defense lawyers. He's like, you'll be the biggest. He's like, nah, I'm all right. And then he goes out, and then he goes, but come on, please. And he goes, all right, we'll just call me tomorrow. And then he goes, yes. And then like Keanu Reeves and his wife walk off, and it's a happy ending. And then it cuts back to the press guy, and it's Al Pacino, and he like morphs out, and he says vanity's my favorite sin. So it's like, it's left open-ended, you know what I'm saying?
You don't know what happened.
Yeah, I like to think he went and had a kid with his dearly beloved, you know? Because I'd put a baby in that one for sure.
Sounds like a really good movie.
It was a good movie, yeah. Full frontal a few times in that movie.
Of Al Pacino?
No, Keanu.
Oh, yeah?
No.
Just slinging.